Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post a quick video here. Back to do another video response to kind of the thread slash contest question that doesn't seem to end for me. Ed over on my turntable did a contest a little while ago, and he wanted us to just kind of do a female artist spotlight where we shared 10 albums from female artists, just to kind of give them, a little bit of spotlight. And yeah, as I was picking my answers, there were so many that I wanted to do, so I thought about just making multiple videos, and that's kind of what I've been doing. So this is my third one here. I think I did like I did a soul one, like an 80s R&B one. I'm gonna do a new wave one, and the original one so I think I've done 3 so far. This will be the 4th, and I have 2 others in mind that I want to do. So if you want to check them out, that'd be awesome. But for this one, on number 4, I've decided to go with kind of a theme of like women that rock kind of thing. All right. So in terms of in the genres and in the time period that they were in, I felt like these ladies were ones that like really just kind of like brought it. Like there was a power to them that was just like very, I'm not gonna say like in your face, but it wasn't just maybe just straight pop or whatever. Like they actually kind of brought it, so to speak, with like an energy maybe. So that was my thought process, but kind of follow me and see if you agree. So we'll kind of start off here with the one and only Grace Slick from Jefferson Airplane. I think for this time period and this style of music and everything else, she was definitely one that I felt like really brought kind of a power in what she did in her voice and her delivery. It's stuff like Somebody to Love, and just all kinds of stuff off of this. I mean, you kind of know their discography. But I think with Grace, even when you move, from what the like late 60s here going into the 80s and everything else, when Starship and all that stuff was becoming so big, and she had a lot of kind of pop radio, very radio friendly type of stuff, like Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, and all of that. And like even in that, there's a power in her voice that's still just like Grace is still bringing it. I mean, she was just one of the absolute greats. So I have no problem including her inside of this particular video. Next, I'm gonna go with a little Atlantis Moret, and this is Jagged Little Pill. And in that 90s, kind of when the angst and everything was becoming so I guess kind of the norm in music, so to speak. And I think from the female perspective, like this is one of the albums, and she's one of the ones that really kind of established that style in my head and in my musical world at that time. And of course, this album was just absolutely huge, and all the hits off of this and everything else. But yeah, I think when it comes to like, ladies that were rocking inside of the genres and time periods that they were in, I mean, you definitely have to put Atlantis Moret in this conversation. So that's a great one there. And here's one that almost kind of goes without saying. I mean, the one and only Lita Ford, this is Out for Blood, actually the band cover there. But yeah, I mean, Lita, you guys know, coming from the Runaways, and really kind of being what I consider one of kind of the big 5 when it comes to the female artists that were really kind of battling and hanging in during that glam phase. She was definitely one of the absolute top, at least one of the top 2, I would say, that really kind of held that down and made a strong name for ladies kind of being in that time frame in that space. So yeah, gotta give props to Lita on that. And Joan Jett, kind of the exact same thing. I think Joan wasn't playing around as much in the glam space as more of kind of the hard rock space, which are sometimes close but very distinct difference in my mind. But I feel like Joan was the one that was really kind of holding it down for the ladies in that hard rock space, especially during that 80s time period. And I mean, just again, one of the absolute legends. Her and Lita coming from the Runaways and everything. I mean, those 2 were just bound to do awesome stuff. And next, I mean, just one of the greatest voices in rock, quite frankly, which is Ann Wilson. I mean, just such a perfect combination of exactly what radio-friendly pop music needs, and then also if she was on stage side by side with Robert Plant back in the 70s, she would more than hold her own, if not take him off the stage. So just the fact that she could have those two pieces together just makes her one of the perfect singers, especially for a band like Heart. Just the awesome, big, powerful, yet very accessible voice with Ann Wilson. So many things by them, and I love the fact that you really have with their catalog, you can go from stuff like Magic Man, which again is just straight up as rock as anything, and then going into the 80s with like Alone and Who Will You Run To and all that very 80s pop friendly stuff, and she's doing them both equally as well. So Ann's a legend. Next, you have my girl, the one and only Miss Pat Benatar. And for anyone that's watched my videos for any amount of time, or anyone that knows me whatsoever, they know my favorite saying that goes with her is "Don't sleep on Pat." that's what I always say about Pat Benatar. Just the other day at the shop, someone came up to purchase a Pat Benatar record, and I was like, man, that's an awesome album. I was like, I said, Billy, what do I always say about Pat? And without even hesitating, Billy goes, "Don't sleep on Pat." Like, didn't he have to turn his head from the desk? He's like, that's right. That's what I say all the time. And what I mean by "don't sleep on Pat" is she was huge, obviously. And I think for people maybe that don't know her or a lot of her albums that well, it's very easy to only associate her with "Love Is a Battlefield" or "We Belong" or these gigantic hits that were just kind of everywhere. And don't get me wrong, those are awesome. I listen to those songs all the time and love them to death. It's definitely one of the things that makes Pat special. But I think for people that don't pay attention beyond that, there are some B-sides and some straight up hard rock stuff that Pat is rocking with the best of them. And I think a lot of people that just don't dive into her catalog, they don't know about that. But I mean, I'm sorry, you give me the song "Heartbreaker" by Pat, I will put that up against any straight up hard rock song. You're going to tell me who's blowing her out of the water from a power position? And it's like, there's no way. Like, don't sleep on Pat. When she wants to bring it, she brings it. And when she wants to be very radio friendly, she can be very radio friendly. It's just like, don't sleep on Pat. That's all I got to say. Next here, we have Leather Angel, maybe a band that's not as well known, but you have over here Terry O'Leary here. She was the lead singer there, and just like the back says, Queens of Leather Rock. I mean, I love this album for the fact that it sounds just like it looks, which is freaking awesome. I love it. I love that cover. But yeah, just another cool one that when you talk about ladies that were bringing it, she definitely deserves to be in this conversation. And then next you have the Donnas with Brett Elizabeth Anderson. That was her name right there. She was the lead singer of the Donnas. Another really cool band that I guess kind of started out more of a punk kind of band. But it seems like after their first album or two, they really kind of went more to just like a big rock type of band, more so than punk. But killed it. Just all great stuff. Love it to death. So there's Brett, who typically goes by Donna A, as far as like the way they do the whole band things with their shirts and all of that. And next, we're going to go to Arch Enemy. Another pretty cool band, kind of a metalcore band. And here you have the lead singer, Angela Gasso. I think they actually had a couple of different lead singers, I believe. Like I said, I'm not very, I don't know everything about the band from start to finish, mainly because this is metalcore, and that's not a genre where I like a ton of stuff. I'm very specific about the stuff that I like, and I listen to that, but I don't just go checking out new metalcore bands and discovering new albums, because it's not a genre that grabs me unless something absolutely grabs me. And that's kind of how I discovered Arch Enemy, because of the song The Oath. They did a cover of The Oath by Kiss. And yeah, I just thought it was kind of fantastic, and it really captured the energy of it. I love the bigger guitar tones that they added to it, again, being more metalcore. And that's kind of how I discovered Arch Enemy and Angela. So that's one that I'll give props to. Check that out if you haven't heard it before. Next, we're going to go with Denita Sparks from L7. another band that's been around for a while, definitely made their mark. I really didn't discover them until the past couple years, though, as far as like actually, well, of course, I've seen L7 albums here and there, but just never paid any attention to them. And yeah, started getting into them about a year or two ago, and it's just been freaking awesome, actually. So she's definitely one I don't mind giving a nod to in this particular category. And I think that's 10 right there. But just because there's some honorable mentions that I pulled out that I feel like I just want to show really quick of some other like ladies that really rocked. I'm gonna go with Michael Sweet from Striper. I think it's pretty cool to show, show a lady that rocks right there. And how about Dizzy from some Britney Fox? I think that's another lady that really rocks right there. We can put him in this. And why not a little Bret Michaels from Poison? I think some other ladies that really rock right there. So yeah, we'll add them in as kind of honorable mentions. So anyway, thanks for watching, VC. Appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think. Any other ones you would put in this category, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, take care, guys.